I'm April, and today I'll be discussing with you how to become an Air Force ROTC instructor at a highly coveted detachment. So first thing, I'll explain to you what is highly coveted. Basically, that's a school or university that has Air Force ROTC there and you want to be an instructor there, mainly because it's in a very desirable place or there's something about it that really attracts applicants. So you want to make sure that you stand out and that you're the one who's selected. So I'll be explaining there's a few different things that you can do. I think basically there's about 4 different contexts that you need to manage during your application process. And fortunately, I had the experience of being an instructor from 2014 to 2017 at San Diego State University. Before we get started, I just want to address a couple things. So hopefully you've already done like the pre-work, which goes into this, meaning this assignment works well into your timeline, your plan for your career. You've discussed it with your family. You've addressed maybe a concern like people say, oh, that's a career killer, don't do that. Well, I would say to heck with their opinions because it's your career, and what may be a career killer for them may not necessarily be a career killer for you. So really look at your own personal goals, what you want to do, and just go off of that and do take advice, but ultimately it's up to you, okay? Before you want to work this job in advance. So if you are waiting for a automated email or some system saying you need to go in and update this, this, and this, sure, that's great and you should be doing that. But if you wait until that to put in your preference of say, oh, I want to go teach at San Jose State or whatever, then you're kind of already behind the game. So before you get to that point, you want to say probably like, I'd say a year to a year and a half before you're due to PCS, you want to already be doing these next things that I'm about to tell you. Okay, so the first one will be your MAGCOM functional, the person for your career field, your specific AFSC, you want to be released from your career field for a career broadening assignment. So I would not wait on this, I would just call them today. And typically you can find out their phone number or email from one of the My VMPF, one of those websites. If not, just ask around. Someone will have their contact information, but you want to hit them up and be like, hey, what is the possibility of me going to go do this really awesome opportunity that I would be really, really amazing at? What are the chances that I'll be released from the career field? And they're going to tell you either yes or no. Like, yes, we can release you for 3 years. It might be 2 years now. I think they changed the assignment for ROTC instructor to just 2 years. But what are the odds that I can go be released to do this? And depending on your career field, the numbers, your year group, all these different things, they're going to give you an answer. Yes, you can go do it, or no, you can't. And these are the reasons why. So it kind of begins and ends with their answer, which is kind of unfortunate if the answer is no. And if the answer is no, don't be discouraged. Don't be like, oh crap, this is the end of my dream or whatever. Because for me, it was always my dream at some point to go be an ROTC instructor, because as a cadet, I always thought that, hey, this would be a really neat opportunity to just, teach and be an instructor and help shape these kids that are going to go be officers. So don't be discouraged, because at some point numbers may change, or the person sitting in that seat may change and their answer may be completely different. So don't be discouraged. That's why you want to start early, so that if you're like, it's maybe a year and a half or 2 years out or something, that you can call back in a couple months when it's closer and just kind of gauge like, hey, has there been any change or anything like that? The next thing you want to do, you want to be on good terms with your current commander, the person who signs off on all of your important paperwork, basically. You want them to know, first of all, who you are. If they don't know you or your face, schedule an appointment with them and get to know them, because they're people too. Don't just make this one way. Get to know them, like their likes, their dislikes. And for this, I would recommend this for everything. Just make everything easy for them. Do all your homework, do all the work up front, so that literally all they have to do is sign their name somewhere and you've already done everything prepared for them. Also, the hiring commander is probably going to give them a phone call just to do like a good guy check to see if, hey, is April really a great officer? And then they're gonna be like, yes, she is, and then click, and then like next day be like, April, here's your orders in your inbox, okay? So you want to make it that easy for them. You want to prepare everything for them, because they're managing like hundreds of you, and they don't have time to do all that stuff. So you want to do that up front, make it easy for them, and make yourself look good, and just make it simple, okay? Just show them that you want this. During this process also, you want to make sure that you loop in your AFPC assignments team, especially once your career field has agreed to release you, okay? So that should just be like a quick sort of phone call, email, just so that they're looped in on this, and that the first time they see it is not like when they go through your talent marketplace, whatever assignment process that they're using at that time, because they keep changing these assignment processes every couple of years, but I think that the concepts still remain the same. The third person that you want to be engaged with will be your future or hiring commander. And during this process, there will be a time period when you don't know who that is exactly, because you'll be required to put, I think it's a minimum of 3 preferences for detachments, and you'll want to make sure that you keep in touch with the commander of each of those schools. So I personally recommend keeping in touch with, I'd say, your top 5 universities, just because things happen, like spots get filled, maybe someone else's application gets done before yours and takes your number 1 or 2 spot. So just in case, I would say keep in touch with 5 universities. And when you call them, don't just speak with the recruiting officer or another captain or whoever is answering the phone. Ask to speak with the commander as well. I think it's good to kind of talk with both, just so you can kind of gauge, like get the full story of everything. Like when you speak with the commander, ask them questions. Just ask them what's it like, what the class is on, anything that comes into your mind of what life would be like, how to be a great instructor there, just anything. Make sure that with all of these people, just be persistent, especially with the hiring commander. You want to, in a way, sell yourself. Don't be cheesy or fake, but point out the things that make you unique and beneficial to them as the commander, beneficial to that detachment. So if you're an amazing athlete, if you already have your master's done, just different things that you are super good at, sell that, because they'll appreciate it. Think outside the box. I think this actually helped me out. I happened to have some leave scheduled in Los Angeles at one point, and I had just applied, and I took a day trip down from LA to San Diego with my brother, and I showed up in service dress, and beforehand I had asked the commander, is it okay, sir, if I just have an informational interview where I was able to just meet him, meet the team, ask some more questions that were more in-depth or better suited face-to-face, and then actually it went so well that by the end of that, I don't know, hour and a half or so, the civilian administrative assistant took me to go get my photo taken for an ID, and had all my email accounts already set up before I even had orders to go there. So that when I actually showed up, everything was already like squared away for me, and I could just like, you know, get rolling. The last person or entity you want to also manage will be AETC, and you're like, what the heck does AETC have to do with it? They actually, well, when I did the application process, they did manage your application. They would mail it. It was hard copy. They would mail it to your top choices to make sure that the commander got it, and then he would look at it, or he or she would look at it, and then they would hire you from that application package. So again, that just took persistence, because there was a gentleman handling at the time who was kind of lagging, or his answers were always like, oh, I'll get to it tomorrow, or I'll mail out your package tomorrow, and it would never happen. So I literally would call him every single day, at Monday through Friday at like 9:38 a.m. and call him, be like, hey sir, where's my package at? And I think he got so pissed that he finally mailed it, and then it came across my future boss's desk, and the rest is history. So there you go. Those are some tips and tricks, not really tricks, but things that hopefully will help you. You don't have to do all of them. Maybe there's just one thing in there that helped you, but basically That's what you have to do. Number one thing is you just gotta be proactive about all this stuff, okay? Because no one's just going to hand like your dreams to you, all right? So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask, leave one below. You can email me also at kimchiwarriorprincess@gmail.com. All right, thanks guys.